Hello. Yeah, today, just real quick, I read Chris Hedges this morning, The Western Way of Genocide. The genocide in Gaza pretends the emergence of a dystopian world where the industrialized violence of the global north is used to sustain its hoarding of diminishing resources and wealth. Anyway, this is an article full of a lot of information and a take on what's going on in our world that I very much subscribe to, and I get where Chris Hedges is coming from. I've read his books and followed him for a long time, so yeah. I like Chris Hedges. But anyway, it's very intense, this article, and I just want you to read it. So that's all I'm going to say today. I'll just read the last paragraph. What is lacking is not knowledge. Our perfidy and Israel's is part of the historical record. But the courage to name our darkness and repent, this willful blindness and historical amnesia, this refusal to be accountable to the rule of law, this belief that we have a right to use industrial violence to exert our will marks the start, not the end, of campaigns of mass slaughter by the global north against the world's growing legions of the poor and vulnerable. So you may think that science, engineering, and technology is going to solve all of our problems. Toot sweet, another $1 trillion, another 5 years of research, another investor round of funding, and so on and so forth, and we'll be fine. We'll have batteries that last for decades, generations, and we'll have mini fusion reactors in our garages and whatnot. We'll live forever, be transhumanist, be transhuman, upload our... I always fantasize about having a nanotube carbon fiber lower body skeleton, so that I don't wear out down there and I can walk for, 30,000 steps a day without even feeling it. But anyway, we get old and things wear out, So anyway, maybe everything will be sorted out the last minute, or perhaps God has a plan. And it's all going to be peachy dandy in the end. But for people in certain parts of the world, it's not at all nice. And we should be aware of that. And I do think that within the rubric or the context of the polycrisis, there's going to be more and more stress throughout our global economic system and also nation states. And these are going to lead to more conflict and violence, I'm afraid. And those with the power to prosecute industrial violence will do so. It's interesting, in the United States, to be a good citizen, you have to always support the troops. And this is just such a blatant and tired, old, mundane form of propaganda and conditioning, right? You may hate woke and you hate LGBTQ, or you hate this or that, or whatever it is, liberals or libtards or conservatives, or you hate MAGA, there's so many things you don't like. You can't get your health care, price of eggs, whatever your picadillos are, or petty peeves. You've got plenty. But when it comes to supporting the troops, forever war, basically, that particular form of business and those business ecosystems that support the MIC, the military-industrial complex, and makes a certain class, a particular class of people, wealthy. Not you, but a particular class wealthy. You're bred and conditioned to support it without question. And if you don't support something that the powers that be want to do, like support these endless wars, then you're a criminal. You're disloyal. You're a traitor. You're a heretic. You're kicked out of the country. You're kicked out of school. You're doxxed. You're abused. You're bullied. You're ostracized, cast out, right? And you see this happen to all kinds of people in all kinds of professions. Just mentioning that you don't like what's happening in a certain part of the world is sacrilege. You may hate other sects, religious sects, or other religions, but one thing you have to do is support the troops, the military-industrial complex, and everything your country does with them, without question. So I think that's kind of unfortunate that we're so easily conditioned, and that we don't ask questions, and that we don't hold our leaders accountable for the bloodshed and the chaos and the suffering and the destruction that happens in our name around the world. So I hope you'll read this article, Chris Hedges' report on Substack. He's also on YouTube, The Western Way of Genocide. Thank you for watching. Have a nice Sunday. Take care. William T. out.